Great day, everyone. My name is Yathis Johnson, and I am the president of 3CP, Third Culture People. Well, welcome to 3CP TV. We are back, and 3CP TV is a place where you learn to connect with anyone at any time from anywhere in the world. So as a firm, we are a firm helping companies, businesses, organizations, nonprofits acquire and develop cultural intelligence, inclusive intelligence, emotional intelligence, and relational intelligence for greater productivity, greater innovation, and for greater success of your organization. So here we are. I am with two dynamic individuals who are a couple, and let me share a little bit about them. Their name is Lou and Sheri of the Lou Everett Group. And I'm going to go ahead and just give the rest. Normally I would share just a little bit and then have them, come back. But I want to share what I have here regarding their bio. And then we're going to get into allow them to introduce themselves more formally. And then we'll talk and just have a conversation around the table. So Lou and Sheri are known for highly effective coaching, teaching, and speaking on the importance of personal growth and how it impacts the influence as a leader, our influence as a leader. With more than 4 decades of combined experience in training, coaching, and leadership, they also have received training and mentoring from well-known and successful coaches and teachers from the likes of Tony Robbins, Zig Ziglar, John Maxwell, Brian Tracy, Jack Canfield, Paul Martinelli, and their certified leadership coaches and corporate trainers. Would you please welcome with me the owners of the Lou Everett Group, Lou Everett and Sheri McManus. Guys, thank you for being a part of 3CP TV. And
of course.
Yeah. Just say hi to our audience real quick.
Yeah. Hey, everyone. And thanks, Yathis, for having us on. It's always a pleasure to work with you.
Awesome. So, hey, Lou, Sheri, why don't you all tell us a little bit more? I gave this formal interview, but something cool, something interesting. Sheri, I saw in your bio, there was an interesting story. I don't know if we can get into that because it might be a long one, but it really intrigued me. So you might want to touch on that just a little bit. But Lou, go ahead. Why don't you kick us off here?
Sure. No, not a problem at all. So yeah, Sheri does have a great story that really kind of emphasizes what we do. So I'll let her tell that. But Sheri and I are with the Lou Everett Group. Our focus is on business and executive leadership coaching, and we add in corporate training. We focus on leadership development, effective communication for small businesses, and we provide direct strategies, measurable strategies to help build leaders from within that also help prevent toxic work cultures and provide compliance trainings like diversity and inclusion. And so that is, in a nutshell, what it is that we do. We love what we do. Our passion is transforming today's leaders, focusing specifically on current crisis and current trends and how we can change that in the direction of positive transformation and productivity. So that is exactly what we do. But Sheri does have a story that kind of revolves around the toxic work culture and kind of re-emphasize our passion for what it is that we do.
Okay, Sheri.
Yeah. I don't know what you were doing, but on August 13th of 2018, heck, we can't even remember what we had for breakfast, right? But I know that date in particular stands out because I actually was admitted to the ICU burn center with a rare disease for 10 days. Now, at that time, we weren't sure if I was going to live or die. Now, prior to this experience, I was actually working at a job that was high sales and high stressful work environment. And leadership at that time was more focused on the bottom line than they were valuing their employees. It's very common, right? Yep. So it was that experience, though, that really had allowed us to help others, businesses and all sorts, to understand what being a true leadership and what true leader is really about. So that's why our passion and our mission is truly transforming today's leaders, even if it's one at a time, because of that experience.
Now, the thing is with her experience, the doctors and Sheri had worked for was still working for it before she had joined the Lou Everett Group. She was working for a company in the corporate side of things. The doctors during this 10-day period had let us know that the reason, the number one causation of her being in the hospital with this situation was because of the negative environment and the stress from her job, working for a company that she did, because of the type of influence that leadership then at that time was having on that department. So it really solidified us in saying, okay, we are doing what we need to be doing. This is our passion, and we want to do everything we can to bring awareness to not just the employees, but those that are in the leadership role of companies, to see what can be done to at least reduce, if not eliminate, the type of toxicity that can exist within the company, even if they don't know it's happening.
Wow, that is amazing. That is amazing how this journey, this negative experience, really, you guys flipped it on its head, turned it around, and made it something that is applicable, useful, and powerful for others as a training tool. So thank you for what you're doing there. What advice would you all give to companies who are struggling in this area? They're not caring for their employees. They're not building a high functioning team a team that could be inclusive, a team that could be creative, a team that could be innovative and really impact the bottom. C-suites are interested in the bottom line, but what's the journey? How do you get there? Can you share something there?
Yeah. When we talk about this, it's sometimes can come across as if there's this negative vibe we're trying to give to those at the corporate or at the C-suite or leadership level. And that's not it at all. We've both been there. We both have held positions of high rank in organizations and have been able to see this and experience things in that realm for many years. So it's not that. It's more of an awareness that we need to come to that grip. Now, the bottom line is extremely important in a business and in a corporation and a company. You're responsible not just for the success of the business, but you're also responsible for employing other people and making sure that they're provided for. So there's a heavy responsibility and a load on leaders, and it needs to be respected. Mm-hmm. So I want to make sure I get that out of the way. Mm-hmm. The challenge that we face at that level of leadership, and the biggest issue that we need to bring awareness to is that many are still playing by the old 1970s leadership playbook of top-down positional style leadership. Mm-hmm. When in actuality, it's all based on how we influence one another and those that we lead. And the only way we get to do that and keep the bottom line in mind is by certain strategic methods and ways that we can draw our employees in and those that we lead into us when we lean in to them. And there are strategic ways to do that. And when we get to do that and we can see the effectiveness of our positive influence on those people that we lead, that will drive revenue. That's going to drive people on those teams to follow that leader because they want to, not because they have to, because they feel included. Right, which is another conversation I'm sure we'll talk about, is that inclusiveness, because it's total encompassing when it comes down to the success of any organization. Absolutely. Because one slight wrong move in one department can turn a company on its head, or one negative remark from an employee, or a negative testimonial from an employee, a previous employer, current one, can also change the dynamics of a company. Sure. So it's important to become aware. So to answer your question, the awareness is what we need to hit first. Become aware that you don't know what you don't know. There's so much that goes on in these teams that you're not aware of. Yep. How can you find out? besides doing your yearly survey,
Mm-hmm.
what other ways can we find out?
Mm-hmm.
And there are so many other avenues. And that's where we come in. There are strategic ways to identify where those imbalances are.
Good. That's awesome. Sheri, let me turn to you. How do you help women? I mean, when you all go work with an organization or company, what's your role in speaking to empowering women in leadership?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a great question. Yes, we're very fortunate that we are, a husband and wife duo, because we can actually hear, see the different dynamics, right? And for women in particular, there is the common imposter syndrome. There is the comparison theory, the comparison of one another, and it's difficult. And as women business owners, we need to actually step aware, but then step and push forward and say, no, this is a supportive environment. So, women business owners are strong and dynamic, and it's really nice to share our experience in the journey that we have been, that it is possible. And stick to your guns, stick to your dream. And it always goes back to your passion and why and your purpose. So as women business owners, it's always going back into that purpose and why. That's that North Star. So I always encourage that for women.
Wow. That's awesome. Hey, Simon Sinek, right? Know your why. You got to know your why.
That's it.
You got to know your why. So listen, let's talk about culture a little bit. I'm always, 3CP, this is what we do. We talk about culture. We try to, and I never make assumptions as to what a person's cultural background is, but talk to me about what are some things in this last, especially within the past, over a year now, with the racial tensions and all, how have you guys processed culture, your own culture, and what it means and its impact on others?
See, the fact of the matter is that even though the last year and a half or so seems to be more heated with cultural dissension or disagreement, it's only because it comes to the surface when certain things happen. It's been in existence for centuries. And so it's a matter of perspective and realizing that this conflict has existed. It just gets to the point, like any other human being, when things get so heated where you finally say, well, I don't really know what else to do. And then you have the tension. There's a reaction with tension. And so understand that we have the solution for this. We all do as a human race have a solution for this. And it's things like what you're doing, Yathis, is having these conversations and being open to understand that it's okay to have differences. It's not okay to not respect differences. That's what's not okay. And so for us, we've just done what we could to, and we've done it before this last year and a half. We're very much into our own culture and understanding our history, our family history, our cultural history. And I think and you can correct me if I'm wrong and even chime in on this, is because I'm really passionate about this. It's about, I found that when an individual becomes aware of their own culture, their own background, their own differences, that they then become more aware and accepting of and open to others.
Yeah, that's powerful, Lou. Let me tell you, that's powerful. That is so powerful, because even when we talk about the DISC, I know you guys are certified in the DISC, right? It's not about understanding self first, right?
That's right.
And then you get to understand your teammates and those around you. So even with culture, it's like, understand your own culture. That's the first part of it. Understand its impact, its influences on others, understand who you are, and be proud of that. It's like, it's nothing wrong. I mean, this is the way God has made each of us, right? We're all humans. And I love something you said, Lou, about human race. We're all human race, right? So really, for me, it's one race, many different expressions through ethnicities and culture. But when we learn to humanize each other, we could respect and grow together and be that United States of America. And that's that's my hope. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah. So, and that makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
I
makes
think the
sense.
biggest thing is just that we've done in a year and a half is that we've learned through our mentors that was going on a listening tour, really taking the moment to take a listen to people, different perspectives.
Yeah.
And then that has grown to being an ally to the groups. So I know personally, I have grown from that, realized even in the LBGQ community. So that has been eye-opening to me into that community. So again, it's part of, being human, is part of being in that inclusiveness. And let's talk about that. Let's listen in. And so that's what I think the biggest takeaway in the last year and a half is just beyond that, being an ally and being on and listening.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's all part of learning, right? We've got to learn about each other. And
Absolutely.
it's and the reality of it is we have choices, and we get wrapped up in those choices, and many times we make our choices political.
Yeah.
The reality of it is, the atheists and everyone who's listening, the reality of it is the quote unquote race war, or this conflict. Is not, it should not be politicized.
Right.
This is not a political movement. This is humanness.
Yeah.
That we're talking about here. It's like going taking a walk outside, and you find your old neighbor who lost her balance and is sitting on the ground outside on her porch, and you not going to see if she's okay. That's humanness. And you notice in that whole questioning that I don't know what color she is. Doesn't matter. I don't know what her culture is. It doesn't matter. It's humanness.
Exactly.
And that's when the humanness comes in. It's not political. It turns into politics because that's the avenue we have to go to get change made.
Yeah.
But reality is.
And you're right, Lou. I mean, this is not just an American problem. This is a universal problem, right? We have a universal problem of human differences. And so, wherever you go throughout the world, there's going to be some conflict between people groups. And each of us have to work through that conflict, as you mentioned. So, hey, let me switch over and ask one last quick question. And you both can answer this. What are one or two lessons that you all have learned being an entrepreneur and running your own business?
One or two. I gotta shrink it down to one or two, huh?
There's a lot. You love our audience to know. Yeah.
Well, I'll take this one first if I can.
Sure.
I think the biggest thing as an entrepreneur is there's two things. One is that you definitely need to do personal development. We are the limit of our own beliefs. We are the limit of our own growth. And we're the only human beings that know how to cut things off, right? There's trees and plants that keep regrowing and refreshing, but yet we're the only beings that seem to, I guess I'm getting that right?
Yeah, we're the only human beings that interrupt our own growth. Yeah.
There we go.
The only living thing that interrupts our own growth is us.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
that is definitely a key thing, is to, either to read, and to apply, to be intentional on what you're taking in. So that's number one, the personal development side. Number two, the biggest thing is that if you do become the entrepreneurship journey, it's not for everybody. I will be blunt. It is not for everybody. It's not the faint of heart here. But the biggest thing is that you have to shift your mind from an employee mindset to an actual business owner mindset. If you're in a coaching business, you are a business owner running a coaching business. You are not a coach running a business. There's a slight difference there. And that's something that was very eye-opening to me, again, this past year and a half, to really shift my thinking of, I need to be that business owner running a business. You're the end all, sure, but we're the business owner running a business. So that's a big mind shift.
Wow. I like that.
And for me, those are very good. And so what's nice about having two of us is I can now add on two more. So we end up with four, which is good. But we need people. As entrepreneurs, I want everyone to understand you need people. Number one, you need people, which means collaborate. Yathis, we've done that. It's always, and always, once we're done collaborating, and I'll speak because we've collaborated. When I'm done collaborating with you, I have to wonder, am I excited? Do I get the chills because because of what I've given to other people, or because I collaborated? And I think it's because I collaborated and I really enjoyed the collaboration.
Yeah.
And it gives you that drive to work together and understand one another. And by collaborating with other people in your space, it's okay, right? Yeah. I don't believe in competition. I think there's competition there. And I think that if we open that up to more of a collaboration instead of a competition, then I think that I know that will make things so much better for each person, because we're all trying to achieve the same thing as entrepreneurs. And that is success towards what our end goal is, and what that end vision looks like. And if we can help each other get there, that's what's going to change the world, really. There's no way one person's going to change it by themselves. We need people to make it happen.
Yeah.
And whatever it is that we're focused on. So collaboration is number one. And number two, it's okay to be different in what you do.
That's good.
You're not going to be able to
right?
Be yourself. Yeah. Be yourself. Focus on your passion, push that passion. And not everyone's going to be on board with that. And that's okay. And be okay with that. As long as you work towards that end of where it is that you want to be, where it is you want to go. Use the resources around you, grab people, bring them in to your vision to help you get there, whether it's coaching, mentoring, training, whatever it is. Bring that in and be okay with it, and understand that you're going to get there, but you're going to get there with the help of other people.
That's right. That's right. Well, our time is up, folks, and so appreciate you all and what you do, Lou Everett Group, and helping organizations and helping people, helping humanize our society and make us better as an American culture. So thank you all for being part of 3CP TV. Why don't you just leave people with a little bit of information? How can they get in contact with you if they wanted to reach out? Would you do that right now? Your social media platforms, whatever you want to do, just let them know, how do they connect?
Sure.
Yeah, they can reach us out on our website at loueverettgroup.com. We are on Instagram, we're on Facebook, as well as LinkedIn. So feel free to reach out.
Yep. And so, folks, thank you again for viewing 3CP TV, where you learn to connect with anyone at any time from anywhere in the world. And here I am, I'm connected. I didn't know you guys a year ago or so, but over the past year, we've gotten to know each other and befriend each other, work together several times. And so we're continuing to do that. So you can reach us at 3CP, Third Culture People. We're on LinkedIn. We're on Ye Johnson on Instagram. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Twitter, and then our website, thirdculturepeople.com. Take care. Have a great day.